Hey, welcome guys to what is this?
Everybody.
What are we calling this again? 3 hacks in a movie.
3 Hacks in a Movie podcast.
Yeah, I was about to call it 3 hacks in a podcast, and then I had to remind myself it's 3 hacks in a movie.
3 Hacks in a Movie.
And a
where
podcast.
3 hacks
And a podcast.
get together, talk about movies.
Yep.
That is the every episode.
Self-proclaimed hacks, and also other proclaimed. I'm
already-
sure others call us.
I
Will
work
call
for
us
my
that.
title. All right.
Did you?
I don't just call myself a hack, right? And this is
Oh, okay. You earned that title.
I
Is
earned
what you're
that title
saying?
through
Okay.
hard work.
I don't know what we do to earn these titles, but maybe I'm there yet. Maybe I'm not there yet. Who knows? Oh, it is 2007 that it came out.
so.
Okay.
Today, I think Emilio picked the movie.
This was mine. This is my choice this week. And we went with I don't know where in his filmography it is, but it is a Danny Boyle, kind of a thriller, honestly, infected zombie thriller known as 28 Days Later, starring Cillian Murphy, who at this point. I don't think a lot of Americans knew about him. Maybe
Can't even
Brits.
imagine what
Maybe
he'd be
Brits
in.
did. Yeah, exactly. Maybe he was like.
TV,
Maybe he was like.
soap opera.
Maybe he was like British famous at that point. You know what I mean?
And some
Like,
soap opera where like a bunch of horses are pulling carriages.
oh, like a
One of
period,
those things.
like a period
Yeah.
piece. Yeah, a fucking Downton Abbey or some
can see him
bullshit
in
like
that.
that. But before Downton Abbey.
Yeah, this must have
young
been pretty
Cillian.
early.
Yeah, right.
And I didn't notice it was Cillian Murphy until like
Until I
minutes into
I
it.
told you,
I
yeah,
was
'cause
like,
you're like,
who
who
is
is-
that? Because I saw his
yeah.
eyes, and I was like, that's too good. Like, the way
okay.
that Cillian Murphy acted.
You mean you
his
didn't
eyes,
recognize him by his wiener first?
I was
'Cause, you
lost
know,
in his eyes. And I was like, who is this?
That's
who
somehow
is this
gayer.
man?
That's somehow gayer than recognizing him by his wiener.
Yeah,
No, Cillian Murphy's his acting in his eyes is so good. I feel like he's like one of the
Yeah.
that's his forte.
No, I get it. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at his filmography real quick, and basically almost everything before this, it's like short film is right next to it, with a few exceptions.
yeah, but this was definitely the first like big name film. The first one I recognized.
Yeah,
Did
for
he
sure.
write this with Alex Garland?
No, he didn't write it at all. He was just acting in it. Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about Danny Boyle.
You're talking
Danny
about-
Boyle.
We were talking about Cillian Murphy.
okay.
Yeah,
we were talking about
Cillian
Cillian
I
Murphy.
can't really see the screen too well. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm on the side of this
Yeah.
table here.
No, yeah, Danny Boyle. I mean, before this.
He had already done Train Spotting.
Oh,
that was in
okay.
96.
Yeah, that
That was
makes
6
sense.
years before
Oh,
this
okay.
movie came out.
I feel like I've heard of that movie, The Beach. Oh, that's the one with I think Leo, right? Leonardo DiCaprio. Because I always feel like I hear. Yep, Leo. Yep, I always hear about those movies for some
Never heard
like
of it.
one way. Also written by Alex Garland. Weird.
Interesting. They must. So they do work together a lot, I guess.
It's very. I don't know who else is known for that. Like a combo, like a
Writing, directing
combo. Yeah, where
don't
they're always
know.
working together.
That's a good question.
Yeah, I can't really think of anyone else off the top of my head, but I'm sure there is someone, or there is a
few, but
couple
I
out
can't
there.
think of them.
Yeah, I can't really think of any at the
Top
moment.
of my head.
But yeah. So my pick this week, 28 Days Later, which I've actually never fully seen all the way through. I would only catch bits and pieces when I was a kid. So I've always wanted to watch this movie. I know I've owned this movie for probably 4 years now, just sitting in my Blu-ray collection, and I never watched it somehow. And I know we were going to when we were doing the whole, let's watch horror movies in October, and then when we were like, let's watch horror movies in April, and it still never came around to actually watching it. But you know what?
This made me want to watch more zombie movies. Definitely. 'Cause
I-
this is a staple, I would say.
You know what this makes me want is more like infected zombie movies like this, I guess, in a sense. Like I don't want like over the top. I mean, I do still enjoy like over the top action ones, but I don't know. I kind of like almost like the simplicity of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing absolutely insane visually wise. Like there was no fucking wild explosions. There's no
There was
fucking
one
like
explosion that was actually pretty badass.
yeah.
Like the gas tank
Oh,
explosion.
the gas station in the
Yeah,
kind of
it
sort of
took a
beginning
minute for them to
Yeah.
film this like explosion because this is so awesome.
Totally
Yeah.
unnecessary too, because they only killed like four
Well,
zombies.
I know, dude. Yeah, they're not inefficient. They definitely weren't worried about efficiency at this point.
How
I
do
think
you
that's
last 28 days doing that?
Yeah, man. But I will say, you know what? Super late to this movie, super late to the franchise, but 20 something years after it came out, 22 years after it came out, right?
Yeah.
November 2002. I really liked it. It's I don't want to say it's a very different take on a like post-apocalypse movie, but just like most post-apocalypse movies that aren't trying to be over the top action, it's definitely like a human story, right? It's always one guy or a few group of people, and it's all about them kind of coming together and realizing, trying to keep hope, but in reality, they're like, you know what? This is probably not going to end well, but we just have to kind of keep going kind of situation.
Everyone there wants to live, as evidenced by the fact that they're living.
Yeah, that they're still there, right? Yeah.
So everybody there is like either going to kill somebody else to live or like
Yeah.
The main character is more of a good guy for sure.
Yeah. He seems like an all right,
to help everybody.
an all right chap.
There's a scene where they say,
well, he's Irish, so you got to call him like a lad or something like that.
Is it lad? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. A lad. You're right.
But there's a scene where they're talking about they can't be leaving people. They can't have slow people with them.
Yeah.
Because they'll just slow them down. And Cillian's like, I'll have slow people with me because that's kind of his character.
Yeah.
I feel like he just wants to help everybody.
Yeah,
at the beginning at least.
Yeah, that was very much
some things.
Selena, who was very much with that mindset. Real quick, so gonna try to give a quick synopsis without going too off the rails. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's your standard post-apocalypse infection movie, but it basically, so it's called 28 Days Later. It starts with monkeys. Yeah.
So if you like monkeys,
yeah. So the movie starts off with these like animals rights activists just finding, I don't know, I guess they found out about some secret experimentation being done on monkeys, so they go in to try and free them, and then you see a scientist come in and he's like, no, they're infected with a disease, you can't, like, they're literally not allowed to leave, and they're like, yeah, whatever. And dumbasses being dumbasses decides to like let one go, and it just goes to fucking hell basically from there, because whatever, activists think they're trying to do the right thing and completely fucking destroy the world in the fucking process.
Everybody in that room gets infected.
Yeah,
basically.
And then it just goes from there. I mean, it skips, and then it basically cuts to black or whatever, and then you see Cillian Murphy's character wake up in a hospital, dick out, by the way, for some reason. I don't know why he's I get it, he's in a hospital, but like not even a gown or anything.
It's a Willy, bro. It's a British movie.
Oh, right, Willy. Okay, yeah. A cork. I don't know. I feel like they like to say cork.
Bellend.
Yeah. his Big Ben and his, I don't know, whatever bells they have over there.
Showing his bullocks.
Bollocks. Yeah, full dick out. So for any of you people who just like love Cillian Murphy, yeah, full. He goes full
Oppenheimer.
He goes full pickle. He goes full pickle for this movie, which is crazy because this is like his first real movie that he's done. So hats off to him.
It's tastefully done.
Is it?
Oh, he shows it twice, I think, too, actually. You see his Willy.
I think I remember he shows his ass again later, but anyway, so yeah, he wakes up in a hospital. He's stumbling around the hospital, just yelling out,
bro.
Yeah,
he's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
and then cue the Godspeed You Black Emperor music.
yeah. Belly could not get over this band, like getting the honor to fucking score this movie. Apparently,
well, they didn't score. He just picked a song from one of the albums.
Yeah.
But like, it fits it really well. Like it was very like they're a very cinematic band. So like as he's walking around, just totally desolate London, where you can't see a single soul.
Yeah.
It's just blasting and it's really intense. And that's like probably one of the best parts of the movie. I want that scene where he's just walking around.
Okay, so to finish my synopsis, I kept going into unnecessary details. He stumbles around in the hospital, calling out for somebody. No one shows up. He then goes into the streets. Again, doesn't see anybody. He actually starts picking up money, like, because I don't know, he still thinks maybe, obviously he doesn't know the world's ended at this point. So he's stumbling around, and then he eventually does run into two other humans, essentially, like, because they're perfectly fine.
That say, like, evacuation.
Oh, there's like the
newspaper, I think.
Newspaper.
Yeah, there's like what's it called? Like a
memorial board.
Yeah, like a community board,
right.
And then it's just, and then that turns into a memorial board.
Like, oh shit, I'm basically like by myself. That's
yeah. And then eventually he does run into two human people who kind of give him the rundown about what happened to their best of their knowledge, right? Because I don't think anyone in this world knows that it started with animal rights activists and monkeys. And then he goes to his family's house. He sees that his parents decided to commit suicide because of what happened, or because the world was ending. And then so it's him and Selena. Selena's a badass chick with machete. And then they kind of try to figure out what to do, go from there.
And some other guy too, right?
And he dies. So,
Yeah,
and then
sad.
and then
Very quickly.
they eventually team up with Brendan Gleeson's character and his daughter, which is a super cool combo to see. Honestly, I really like that father-daughter combo, especially in post-apocalypse stuff. And then so they're trying to find a way. They're trying to find a place to be safe, essentially. And I guess that's like kind of just like my quick synopsis without giving out the whole thing. Obviously, we're gonna talk about the rest of the movie, but yeah.
And they don't find safety. Actually, that's a very dangerous
spoiler
adventure
alert
for them. I thought it was the power's out the whole time. I don't think there's any running water, no telephone lines, no radio. So it's like it really makes you think like what the fuck you would do in this situation. Like your first fucking move would be.
Yeah, I mean Brendan Gleeson's character Frank, he signals to Jim and Selena by basically using Christmas lights, kind of like just turning them on and off. So I guess there was like a little bit of power somehow.
A battery maybe.
Maybe.
It probably had
It's probably
his own power source. Somehow.
Probably something like simple, obviously, only to run the lights. And so that's how they get caught up with each other. And then they were listening to like a radio, right, to try to see if there's anyone else trying to communicate. And then they catch a message being
like
relayed.
A recording of a.
Yeah, they thought like, they're like, okay, we don't know if this is
radio message.
Yeah, they're like, we don't know if this is live or this is just a recording because they're like, everyone could be dead. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, you're right, but we should at least just go for it, I guess. And they catch a radio message that says, the cure is here or whatever, something along those lines. I think it's the cure is here, the cure for the infection, or the answer to the infection, because they don't really want to say cure, I guess. And then so they're like, oh, you got to head northeast or whatever by X amount of miles. So they start heading in that direction, and then I will say, so when they start heading up there, I thought the tunnel scene was really cool. When they go to like just like the underground park, because they're literally like, okay, this is the quickest way, or do we go stay on the surface streets and take like a longer route or whatever? And then Frank just makes the executive decision. He's like, nah, fuck this. Like, we're just gonna go through the.
Starts just driving.
Yeah, he just like floors it, and you see his like, you could tell he's a veteran taxi driver the way he was fucking maneuvering in and out of the
Right,
like,
yeah,
because there was cars everywhere, like
Yeah.
just stationed, obviously.
You had no
dude was a
worries
pro.
about breaking anything either.
I know, right?
I'd be kind of freaked out about running my car that intense in an apocalypse, because it's like.
This is my only car.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know, I'm gonna find another functioning car. Yeah.
Which actually, his tires pop. I think, like.
Towards towards like the end of the tunnel, like as soon as they like because at one point he's just driving on top of other cars, like somehow his car gets on top of the other cars, and then they're like woo, and then fucking land off the cars and fucking boom, flat tire, which are kind of like, okay, these infected obviously go off of sound. This is like worst fucking case scenario, because now we have to change a tire in the middle of or at the end of this tunnel anyways. Honestly, the rats freaked me out for a second, because like like that fucking just flood of rats just came.
Yeah.
As she's changing the tires.
As she's
like
changing the tire, so you see her on the ground, and I don't know if it was just me, but there was like a real moment where I thought like, wait, what if the rats are infected?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah, I was
Right.
like, what if the rats are
The
infected?
monkeys can be infected, but maybe it's like
Right.
a primate thing, like the infection.
Yeah, well,
Maybe that's why.
it seemed like they,
The rats didn't get
they purposely infected the monkeys, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking, like, obviously the rats are known famously for carrying disease, right? So
Are they?
What?
Are they?
Yes. Rats.
You're gonna besmirch rats on this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when she was under the car or like whatever,
she
like
was done.
bro, I thought she was gonna get infected, and I'm like, bro, is he really gonna have to kill his daughter now, or is he gonna make one of the other ones do it? That thought did run through my head for a second.
But it was just more like, oh, icky, and then
yeah, it was just kind of gross.
they bit her, I think. A little bit.
Well, and you hear Selena say, "Oh, they're running from the infected or
Right.
whatever." They're running from predators. They're like, "Oh, okay, cool." So it seems like they're safe from the rats. Anyways, like the rats aren't that
And you
big of a deal.
see the fucking infected, like the light is like shining their shadows in the tunnel.
Yeah, you just
them
see
getting closer.
Yeah,
and
you just see
closer.
small movements in the shadow. It's kind of.
Like a
I like
minute.
the shot. I like the shot. It was very
Right.
cool. Yeah.
Like for a minute, they're like you can see their shadow. It's like
Yeah, it's almost like
pretty suspenseful.
it's almost kind of how you see like a wave. It's just kind of like up and down, like on this I don't know, like this plane of a shadow. It was super cool. I really liked that scene. I thought it was very intense. But I was also kind of mad at Frank because I was just like, maybe you should take the longer route because
Yeah,
this is your only car, bro.
Jim played it too cool after that.
Yeah.
I would have been pissed off if I was him because it's like I told you to go around the long way.
Yeah,
like,
dude, right? I was like, are you
the
serious?
worst
man?
place to have a flat tire would be in this tunnel.
Well, Jim
that's
did
where it
say
happens.
woo when they were in the car. I think. So.
Yeah,
He was
it
caught
for
up in the moment, man.
He did it for his daughter because she's having the ride of her life. She's having the ride of her life. But man, it was a great scene. I really liked it. I mean, they made it out, Right. But honestly, even Jim pissed me off at the end of that because remember how he's like hanging out the window, like taunting the infected. I'm like, bruh, like you're not out of there yet. Like, how about you give it a little bit before you start fucking sticking half your body out the goddamn car?
Yeah.
That was just something I noticed. I was like, God damn it, Jim. Yeah, and then another cool thing I liked about that scene too is that you actually see that the infected do give up on chases. And I don't want to say they gave up relatively fast, but there was a point where you kind of see them just stop moving. They're like, okay, whatever. Like,
True.
I'm sure we'll find some other humans or non-infected later.
I'd like to think that scene is just edited bad and they're supposed to clip a
Yeah,
couple more seconds off of that, but they're like, cut. Okay, everybody stops running, and then
I'm used to zombies despawning, but yeah, in this movie, kind of just give up. And,
I just love the idea that so RJ, I did have a similar thought process where I thought more like the extras just got tired, like and they're like, and they're like, all right, and they didn't yell cut yet, and they're like, whatever, just leave it in, I guess, or like I don't think anyone's gonna notice that the infected just kind of gave up on the chase,
Yeah, they thought the scene was over.
Yeah,
That was.
I thought I heard cut. My bad. Man, we're talking about 28 Days Later. We got to talk about the scene, obviously, where Cillian Murphy's character, he's walking through a deserted London, right? And you can tell it's London because there's that famous Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
I think not Big Ben, but whatever, some fucking castle, or I don't know what the fuck it is, but some other British landmark that I know is like inside London.
Castle.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I just assume it's all castles. You see him walk through a deserted London, and to those who don't know that actually is a deserted London, they completely shut down. Arguably, or I think it is the busiest part of London, and for a movie with, I think I saw a budget of only $8 million.
Yeah.
That's
That
extreme.
went towards the
Bro, I'm telling you,
permits.
a majority of that budget went to just shutting down those streets, essentially.
Yeah. 'Cause I want to say most of the music was like probably just other, like they didn't have to buy the music too much either, so they probably saved a few expenses. The cast is pretty small.
Oh yeah, it cast
Minus the zombies.
and unknown people at the time, except for Brendan Gleeson's character. Probably he's like probably the only one who's been working for a really long time at this point. And
Yeah, he was in Braveheart before that, so
oh, okay, yeah. So I mean, yeah, dude, because you would definitely think a movie shot like this, they're like, oh, they just recreated this scene, or
Like
you know,
green screen.
yeah,
or whatever,
it's
like
either
in
it's
the
green,
sky.
yeah, it's green screen, or they somehow just recreated parts of London and just shot it to make it look like it's whatever all the entirety of
Or
downtown
filmed it
London.
in Denmark and then said it was London.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like you know how like Vancouver, Canada is used as filming for like all these places in America, or whatever, like
Yeah,
San
yeah.
Francisco and New York and shit. But yeah, maybe I was like, oh, maybe it was that, who knows? And it's like, no, dude, they legit shut down the busiest part of London to shoot this movie, to shoot this scene.
My eyeballs were scanning every like inch of that screen to see like maybe somebody like walking their dog. Like, that they just forgot to like edit out.
You just see an extra like pop his head in and then pop out like, oh shit, am I in?
Right.
Am I in?
I was waiting for it, but no, they really do a good job. Like it looks big, like it's very expansive, like the setting and
Yeah.
stuff. Like and it's just there's nobody there. It's just vast like
Yeah,
emptiness in the city.
I don't remember the last time I was impressed by a scene where a place looks truly deserted because, yeah, I mean with like CGI and everything all day or just kind of recreating like a small set, it's just not that impressive to portray a man completely alone. But when you shut down actual fucking London, England to shoot I don't even know, 5-minute scene maybe. I don't know how fucking long it was.
Yeah, something like that.
It's crazy. They truly made it look like one of the busiest places on Earth is suddenly just gone. Like it's physically still there, but there's nobody there. There's no life. There's no hint of life whatsoever. So I was just kind of blown away by that scene. Honestly, I couldn't get over it.
No planes in the sky or anything.
Yeah.
They did a great job with that.
Yeah, dude, absolutely.
Like, perfectly done, honestly. I would say like.
Yeah, probably like, man, maybe my favorite shot in the movie. I'd have to think about it a little bit more, but as of now, it's probably my favorite scene in the movie. And then I really wish I remember the whole how they did it thing, because obviously you can't shut down the busiest part of London for a very long time. I remember hearing something that they only shut it down for 20 minutes, and they were basically like, we only have one shot to get this right, and if we don't, then we don't have the scene, essentially. We're going to have to like think of something else. Cause yeah. Oh wait, is that it? When they arrived at 4 a.m. and nobody from the council was present, they placed it. Okay, yeah. That also sounds a little familiar. Where they said, 45 minutes after dawn to shoot the locations to avoid traffic. Okay, yeah, and they also obviously had to pick the least busiest time, so it's easier to block off everything.
Well, the time also has to do with the light in the sky. Too.
Well, that too.
Like that like,
but
because you don't want to film too late at night.
Well, yeah, but I think
golden hour. What time did you say that was?
They just said at dawn or right after dawn or something like that.
Golden hour or whatever.
Usually in the morning before sunrise. Yeah.
On Sundays too. Like
but like London nightlife is very much like a thing, right? So night probably would have been even harder to shoot. So yeah, it makes sense that they would pick. Oh yeah, all within. I think it says right there. The film crew placed the bus on its side and removed it when the shot was finished. All within 20 minutes. Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, dude, that's just so impressive to me, man. You never hear about anything like that done today. Everything is just fucking green screen or CGI or whatever.
You get the Martin Scorsese incident where it's actually the opposite, and they're filming in an actual like crowded ass city, and you see like people like. Who are actually real people, like looking at the camera, like,
oh yeah,
right.
You guys filming a movie over there?
Bro,
King of Comedy has that.
Every time I see a movie where they're obviously just walking through a normal, publicly crowded like street or whatever, I'm looking for faces to see who's looking at the camera, because you know there's someone who does it and they do it because they want to tell people later, like, look, that's me right there. That's me looking fucking dead ass in the camera, dude. I believe it.
I would definitely do that.
Yeah, right. I believe it. But yeah, man. This is a wild movie. Cillian was great. I thought everyone was great. Honestly.
At first, I thought it was going to be like an I Am Legend thing where he was actually the last guy on Earth.
Oh, okay.
I think that's how I Am Legend is, right? He finds like maybe one person.
But. He does eventually. He finds a girl. Mm-hmm. He finds a lady to work with. But he was basically alone the entire time until he finds her. So he finds technically 3 groups, right? Because he finds Selena and the other guy, but that dude gets murked pretty fast. Right. And then he finds
I forget how he even dies.
Frank and his daughter. Saving him, remember?
Saving Jim.
Yeah, because Jim gets attacked in his own house by infected.
Right.
And then they come in.
Out of nowhere, they're just chilling.
Yeah, but one came through the fucking ceiling.
They the zombies coordinated attack.
Yeah, right. These zombies are kind of zombies infected, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
There's no chill with these zombies.
No. But it does seem like they definitely still have like thought process in the way they hunt. Cause not that you ever see anything impressive, I guess, but the way they like corner people and still can track people is you see it throughout the movie, and it's kind of crazy. Or sometimes where they like play dead and then all of a sudden just fucking get up. But yeah, so I felt bad for that first dude who got killed, the one that was with Selena, because damn, dude, this guy just bless you.
Thank you.
He was alive, and then he meets Jim, and then he dies. Like he He put his
was
life
probably
up for
about to
this fucking
smash.
stranger. Oh,
He was probably about to smash.
Him and
Comes
Selena,
in.
yeah. Yeah, poor dude, man. I was like, damn, man, you did the right thing and you paid the ultimate price for it, unfortunately.
There's a moment where they're kind of like sharing their story, and the guy who dies, I forget what his name is, but he's like saying that like, yeah, I had to like kill like.
It's Mark.
I
I was
Mark.
gonna ask you guys if you couldn't
I honestly
remember what his
don't-
name was.
I didn't even remember his character's name.
I couldn't either. Yeah, I had to look
It's
it up.
Mock.
But yeah, they're explaining
Mock.
their story to Jim, and he's like, yeah, I had to kill like my family or something, and it was horrible. Like, you're lucky that your parents just like
Died
that
peacefully
died
or whatever.
peacefully.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that the girl's character, what's her name again?
Selena.
Selena. Like she almost like wants to say something, like she like has a story of something fucked up to happen to her, but then she like doesn't say it. And it's like maybe it was so bad.
Damn,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like I saw that in her acting a little bit. Like, she was
Okay,
about to
okay.
like tell her story, but then she's like,
I could
You
definitely
have
see
to
something like that.
You have to wait for 28 weeks later for that.
Yeah.
she's
payoff.
probably in it. I would guess.
Is she even in it? 'Cause
No,
didn't she
no,
say-
I-
no one's in it,
I
right?
don't think anybody was in it.
Yeah, so
They-
maybe we'll find out in 28 years later, hopefully. I don't know. We'll see.
Every character in this has their own story.
Yeah.
I guess besides Jim, his is pretty boring.
Yeah, you
Just
get
asleep.
Yeah, Selena, she just always kind of from the get go, she kind of just comes off as this character that's like, as soon as you become dead weight, you're dead. Like, I'm not sticking around. I'm going because I
survival.
can't. I want to live. So if you even remotely put that in jeopardy, I'm done. There's no reason. And then that becomes even more clear when they meet Frank and his daughter. Because Frank is still a pretty heavy set dude. I mean, the world's only ended for like a month, so he still has like a lot of like weight on him and everything.
You meet him and he looks like a fucking knight with a machete.
Oh,
or
dude,
something.
like, I don't know why he has.
I thought it was
SWAT-
like SWAT
riot
gear.
gear.
Riot like gear.
Yeah, because
riot
he has like the
shields.
padded. He has the helmet.
He has
Did
like
he
a
have a
ski
baton?
mask on too. Yeah.
Was it a baton that he was rocking? I don't remember.
I don't know. It was some like weapon, not a gun, but like a melee
Not
weapon
a gun.
of some
Yeah,
sort.
it wasn't even sharp. It was definitely like more like a
Probably a
blunt
baton or
object.
something.
Right off the bat, he kind of like proved himself as someone worth having around. But even then, she's like, I don't know. Like, you can slow
Yeah.
down.
They need us more than we need them.
Yeah, man. Frank is a G, bro.
Turns out he's a great guy.
He's a dad everyone wants. Obviously, he was doing so good. He was doing so good, and then you can tell by the tone of my voice right now, he does not make it. Unfortunately,
Such a stupid way to die.
and the
too.
way it happens to a lot, I can see why a lot of people would be very upset about how he fucking becomes infected.
Are people upset about that?
I'm kind of up. I don't know, honestly, but I'm kind of up in the air about it. It's definitely not the way I'd prefer him to get infected.
That was
But,
my
yeah.
biggest gripe with the whole movie. It was like, how you
Like
gonna
that's
be
how
free
it
like
happens.
that?
That's how-
Yeah.
That,
Okay,
that was
so-
horrible.
I don't know if it totally explained this, but the only way people can get infected in this, it's like
Oh, yeah,
a
we
lot
haven't
of
talked
zombie
about this.
movies. They either get bitten or the blood from the zombie has to get into
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah, they say because a lot of times they'd be like something that would be, did you get any blood in your mouth? So even just slightly ingesting it, so it enters any kind of orifice, you're done.
Yeah.
And from what we learn in the very opening scene with the animal rights activist is you turn quick.
Yeah.
Because that girl fucking went full infected rager in a matter of seconds, essentially.
Yeah, well, I think also when Jim meets Selena and Mark, Selena explains to him or it was after she has to kill Mark.
Yeah,
to save Jim. Mm-hmm. And I think it was after that she explains you have 10 to 20 seconds to kill him before they turn.
Yeah, exactly. So 10 or 20 seconds, and that goes by fucking fast, obviously. So it's your typical either you get bit or you just kind of accidentally ingest blood, which in this world is very highly happen because not only can you just accidentally ingest blood by fucking slicing them or fucking
blows up and
hitting
hits
it with
your
a
mouth.
with a bludgeoning. But also, these things fucking projectile,
Yeah, they spit.
spew blood, essentially.
Yeah.
You see multiple times where they're just blah! And, it's almost like a fucking spitter from Left 4 Dead, but with blood. And yeah, dude, so there's so many ways to accidentally ingest blood. And then Alex Garland decided to do fucking Frank dirty. And
Yeah, when they're at the base and they're finally like at the location on the radio, and they're like looking around trying to find like who's there.
Yeah, they see a bunch of abandoned military trucks, hoping to find somebody, and there's just nothing, essentially. And Frank starts getting upset, losing it, and he sees it's like a crow picking at a dead body, essentially, and he's like, "Hey, get out of here," because he's just fucking mad. And he just wants he just wants to yell at something or whatever. And the fucking, I don't remember, he kicks something, but like the crow like
kicks a gate door or like a fence or something.
Yeah. And it like shits the body.
Yeah, because the body's up on like a catwalk above the fence.
Essentially, yeah.
Something, and when he kicks the gate or the fence, it shakes the body just enough that it drops a tiny bit of
a single drop of blood.
You see the camera
right when
follow
he's looking
it
up.
down,
Yeah.
follow it down right into his eye.
Like just like a
bro. Not even like his mouth, which is like a bigger target.
Right.
Not calling you fat, Brendan. I'm just saying. But one single drop
right
into the eye, bro. Come on, are you serious?
Right. I guess that shows even the smallest, like tiny little thing will get you as long as it gets in your body.
Yeah, essentially. Maybe that is what they're going for, but I definitely think they thought, this is gonna upset a lot of people. Honestly,
do you think it's
how we take out Frank.
Dumb, just because like the likelihood of like he looks up and it just drops directly into his fucking eyeball. Like, what are the chances of that?
Because it's just one single drop. Like if it was a bunch of drops, maybe I'd give it more of a leeway. But
science, dude.
Explain the science.
Science, bro. All he touches and you zombify, bro. Science.
But I just mean one single drop. I'm kind of like, really? If it was like a bunch of blood that just kind of came down, or at least more than one drop, like give me fucking 10 drops or something, then I could be like, oh, you know what? Damn, like, okay. But no, one single drop.
Yeah, it was
one single drop, dude. If he like closed his eye at the right time or just kind of slightly shifted, he could have still been alive until, later at least.
Right.
But yeah, do you think he realized immediately that that's what got him in the eye? Because I feel like if I looked up, that happened, I got something on my eye, I'd be like, oh, like that's like a raindrop.
It did seem like he knew immediately. Like it did seem like he knew immediately what the situation was, because then his daughter comes and he immediately just says, "Get away from me!" Like he's just like he's yelling at her, "Get away from me!"
He realizes it after a while.
And then obviously his daughter, being his daughter, in love with him, is just keeps getting closer and closer to him.
Like, what?
And he's
What's
like,
going on?
"Bitch, get away from me!" Like
he like
obviously
really grabs her and like.
He pushes her away,
but then he pushes her away.
Yeah, he pushes her away because he's a good dad, bro. Until the very end, he was a good dad, dude. But damn, dude, yeah, that was upsetting. And then to make things even fucking worse, right after that, is Jim was about to do it. He was about to kill Frank because he needed to. And then who shows up? The fucking military or whatever, and just fucking plugs so many shots into his head, into his back.
This is like 40 minutes in, first time you see a gun.
Yeah, first time you see.
Well, it is England, so.
Yeah. So you're not gonna really see. Yeah,
you could have broken into like the police or whatever they call them.
Remember, like even in Shaun of the Dead,
to get some armory or whatever.
Remember, even in Shaun of the Dead, there's only one gun, and they went there like, oh yeah, she has a shotgun. It doesn't even work or whatever.
No, it does.
No, I know, but remember they were saying it doesn't even work because it's illegal to have a fucking gun. in England or whatever.
How about this? You find a dead police officer. Take the gun. Boom.
What dead police officer?
I don't know. I guess there weren't any dead bodies.
Not really. I mean, they never really searched for bodies, but also.
But you could find one eventually. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, eventually.
Guns.
Not really. They don't.
Yeah. Like not in this movie.
In real life either. If you actually see like British police officers, none of them ever have a deadly weapon on them. The only time they do is during
funny hat ones.
No, it's not even that. It's when they're called to like extreme matters. Like when their version of SWAT shows up, those are the only ones with actual firearms.
Right. Show up with muskets and.
But even in 2000, whatever it's called, 2003.
What?
Were they like that? 2002.
Yeah,
like no guns.
Yeah, I think they've been kind of no guns for a good minute now.
I want to say it was sometime in like the 80s or 90s.
Yeah, when they went just full communists. Anyways.
So if they had guns, this movie would have been totally different.
Bro, that's why
This
you
movie
can't
would've
really
been,
do this movie in the States because
Right.
everyone has guns, dude. Especially if you're like in Arizona where we're at or fucking Texas and shit or Florida. You probably been do okay for a while anyways,
Yeah.
right? You know, you're just so strapped. Or here, if you start scavenging around houses that are empty, you'll probably find a fucking gun. Like it's very
That is
likely.
like there's 4 guns for every household. It's like there's more guns than people.
Well, there's definitely more guns than people for
Yeah.
sure. I think the stat was there's
You're gonna find guns.
3.5 guns for every person in the United States or something like that.
Dude,
I don't know how the whole
likelihood of not
3.5
finding a
comes
gun.
into play, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought about this. I mean, I have guns, so I'm like, well, I'm okay to a certain extent. But I always thought, like, definitely in Arizona, if, you know, whatever, shit goes down, right? Zombie apocalypse kind of level stuff. And you're like, damn, where am I going to get a gun? Because I can't just go to the gun store, obviously, because that's where everyone would go first. Bro, find a fucking, like, MAGA Trump flag, like, wearing house or American flag, like, riding house. Good chances that you're going to find a fucking gun or two in those
Or a gun in your
houses.
face when they're
Well,
like,
yeah, I
"Get
mean,
out of
but
my
obviously
house."
make sure it's fucking empty. I'm saying, like, if you're gonna ransack empty houses, those would be the ones to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, bro. Like, I think
Agreed,
it's it's a good idea.
So there's a few mistakes I feel like they made in the movie. Like I would have looked for like more like medicine stuff. I guess one of them did, but like I would have like immediately like went to the hospitals and then like I'm trying to find a gun, like some weapon.
At
I
a
guess I had a
hospital?
machete.
I was like,
Not
at a
at a
hospital,
hospital.
you're gonna find a gun, bro. Well, not then, but I mean, you see Selena rocking a machete.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and a
so-
bunch of
yeah.
pills.
Yeah. Also, let's not forget to bring this up. Where the fuck did they get a baseball bat? This is
Yeah.
England, bro.
Yeah, that's. Dude, I'm telling you, man. Shaun of the Dead is better. British zombie
more accurate fucking British
Yes.
zombie movie.
It was an uncommon drop, dude.
Dude, it's so funny because when I first noticed the bat, all I saw was the handle, right? And then I was like, wait, that doesn't look like a cricket bat handle because that's also flat, right? It doesn't have like the knob essentially, right?
I don't know if it has a knob at the end, but it's rounded.
Yeah.
I mean, the handle's
Knob
rounded.
end.
Okay, so I don't understand. And I was like, no, there's no way that's a cricket bat. But I didn't get a good look at it. And I'm like, yo, is that a fucking baseball bat? And then,
Louisville Slugger,
yeah, and then
yeah.
eventually you do see it. And I'm like, where the fuck did he get a baseball bat in England? And I made the joke. I was like, oh, did he just happen to belong to the one family in fucking London that watches American baseball, you know, and doesn't watch cricket?
Yeah, I mean, I would assume so.
I mean, a cricket bat is a good weapon too. It's fucking heavy. It's fucking broad and everything, but a bat is just easier to swing. It seems like, you know, you can kind of just do a little bit more with it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's just the Americans in us.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
The cricket bat's better for paddling, you know. Good pun. Like, you need to punish somebody. 10 whacks.
Bro, I don't know, man. Have you ever seen cricket? It's weird. I mean, I'll try to learn it, but it's fucking weird.
I have things to do.
But yeah, dude, if I ever get to meet Danny Boyle or Alex Garland, I want to be like, why is there a baseball bat
Are they both
in your
British?
fucking movie?
I know Danny Boyle.
Danny is, I think,
maybe Scottish.
I think Alex Garland isn't. I want to say,
Maybe that makes sense because maybe that's why he wrote the baseball bat in there because he's American.
yeah, I would say he's American. He might be like German or something.
No, they're both English.
Oh, they're both British.
never mind.
Okay.
Well, you know, maybe the baseball bat is more common than we think. Yeah,
I
English people.
don't
Do you have
think
any
so.
baseball bats?
Baseball's not big at all in Europe in like general, but I don't know. That's just a question I would love to ask either of them because I'm very curious to know how the fuck there's a baseball bat in, or how did he find the one baseball bat in all of fucking England? I just thought it was so-
Bentley made the joke.
so
It was
funny.
like he found the legendary loot or something like
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah.
You can find a baseball bat, but not a gun. I mean, come on.
Dude, it's probably easier to find
find
a
a
gun.
gun.
Yeah, it's probably easier to find a fucking gun in London than there is a baseball bat. I
that's
I'd
probably
honestly
true.
believe that. I honestly believe that. And then even Selena, she makes a joke later. She's like, "Okay, Babe Ruth," and I'm like, "How the fuck do you know who Babe Ruth is? Like, is he that fucking iconic that?"
Yeah,
a country that's never heard of or doesn't watch baseball at all knows one of the biggest names in baseball history.
yeah, like I said, they probably watched The Sandlot.
Bro, that-
they
I-
knew who
yeah.
the Great Bambino was. The Sultan of SWAT, the King of Crash.
Also,
Dude.
the Miracle of Angels. What's the one? Angels in the Outfield.
Angels in the Outfield. Oh,
Right.
dude, we
Big fan of that
got
movie.
we got Field of Dreams. I mean, you know,
Yeah, I don't know which ones like reference Babe Ruth though. You know.
Oh, definitely Sandlot. for
Sandlot-
sure.
Sandlot definitely did, yeah.
I also like the joke you made, RJ. It's like, yeah, because you know how we all know the most famous cricket player in the
Obviously,
world.
man. Mr. Cricket.
Mr. Cricket. Yeah, then we just started coming up with like the most British sounding names we can think of.
That's what I was
What'd
trying
you
to think
say?
of
Or
right
just
now.
Phineas Hemmingsworth III.
Yeah, something like that.
That's him, man. Mr. Cricket.
Yeah, that was that was
ever-
fucking great.
He used the baseball bat in a couple infected, right? Did they ever actually get?
Yeah,
to
he. Well, that's how he
whack
killed
you?
his first infected with the kid.
Right, yeah, the kid.
Which was that was a tough one for sure.
Right. I don't know. Like, I understand that's supposed to be like a moral thing. Like, oh my god, it's a kid and he has to kill the kid. But I'm like,
You saw the fucking eyes? It was
Yeah,
like,
right.
Infected, kill the fucking
Yeah.
kid.
Yeah,
bro.
he
Like,
was clearly
no
infected.
question.
I don't think it was like a moral thing. I think
Yeah.
it was just like this is like the worst case scenario for my first kill besides like having to kill my own family. Essentially, like I have to kill a child. You know,
Yeah.
I have to still essentially kill a child. But so right after that, you know, Frank gets murked by, you know, whatever the British military is called. I don't know.
It wasn't even like the military, I think. I think it was just a
bunch
couple,
of
couple
militia.
military guys and then
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah, because a few
some
that were
other
fucking.
dudes.
Yeah, because we find out that a few, like, because it's a decent group of guys, like
An
probably like
anti-zombie militia.
10, 12 of them, something like that. I
yeah,
don't know.
probably
They're-
at least
they're-
10, I would
Yeah,
say.
Each
something
one of
around
them's kind of
that.
a character. You know, you got your kind of like dumb one.
Yeah, some obviously got more like screen time and lines than others.
Yeah.
But later we find out that some of them are still in fact fucking pussies and couldn't do anything, even though you have a fucking automatic weapon in a fucking zombie scenario, and you're still a huge fucking pussy. Reminds me of the guy from Saving Private Ryan, the typewriter, who's just like, because all he does is fucking type shit, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's called into action or real action, you know, and has to, yeah. And then he gets fucking Adam Goldberg's character killed and blah blah blah. So he like a few of those characters just reminded me of him, but. Yeah, so you know they get picked up what looks like the British military. They're kind of excited.
At first you're like, okay, and now they're kind of more safe.
Yeah,
Like,
and then you
they
see their
have
fortress, and
guns,
it's like
fortress.
it's a legit fortress. They got high walls, they got razor wire. They talk
Food.
about they have food. They have like landmines kind of spread throughout. They're like, yeah, we kind of have our shit covered. And you even see them in action when there is kind of like a wave of infected coming at them. You kind of see how efficient they can be when it comes to standing up to them. So it was great. Like everything seemed pretty cool. And then
I feel
obviously,
like right after that first onslaught of zombies, they get kind of horny. Like a second after it's over, they want to get with the girls there because like they're like the only guys.
yeah.
and who've been stuck there for
Bro.
I guess it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks. Yeah,
A long time not to pussy,
28
bro.
days later.
2
man.
fortnights, people.
That's a long time not to get laid.
That was the original title of the movie, but then they're like, well, we want this to do well in America too. So like, let's call it 28 weeks later. But dude, okay, so to add on to your horny theory, even before the first onslaught, remember, because they're kind of freaking out over Frank's death, and what does fucking Jim do? He kisses Selena, and then they kind of start making out for a little bit, and then
she
she kind of
storms off.
realizes what's like they're really just making out after their friends has died. So then she walks away, and he even has this look like, oh, why'd I do that? So yeah, there's something about killing that just really turns these people on, I guess.
Yeah, especially later on, man.
But yeah, man, it was and just like any other fucking I mean, any movie, especially post-apocalypse movies, everything seems to be going good. You know, you find some hint of salvation, and then you kind of quickly figure out, oh yeah, not everything is as it seems, and it's kind of a actually worst case scenario situation. Because the leader of the outfit, which is played by, I forget his name, but I know him as, I think you said the 9th Doctor or the 10th Doctor or something like that.
The ninth
right?
Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I
the
think
9th
it's
Doctor.
ninth.
Yeah, at first I thought it was Ray Fiennes, and then RJ told me that it might be his brother, who I didn't know was an actor. And then I was thinking like, okay, the only other person it could be is fucking the doctor from when they first kind of rebooted / continued Doctor Who in like the mid 2000s, like 2004, 2005. I was like, oh shit, it is him. So that was cool. He does great. He fucking I thought I was like, damn, this is, he knows his shit. He's badass.
At first, you think he's like the good one of the group, like he's the one who's gonna help him out, and all the other guys are just kind of like, anarchy, like gonna do their own thing, but he's there to help them. But then you kind of like see his true character after a while.
And it is kind of interesting in what's the point in situations when the military is still around, because they're a small outfit of like probably like 10 to 12 guys, but they still listen to him. Like his word is still kind of like the final say. Where there is no government, right? There is no military, there is no society essentially. So why even listen to him? But they still do, I mean, they all have guns,
right? Yeah. Besides Jim and
I mean the people in the military, they all have.
They're with, like, there's a huge power dynamic with the Jim and these guys because they all have guns and they can just like tell.
Right, yeah. I mean, they have a fucking machete and a baseball bat, so
they never really give Jim a gun or anything. So he's
not until later. But
in this group.
So there's a scene where Jim is talking to the leader of the outfit, played by his name is Sergeant Farrell, I believe. Yeah, Stewart.
No, it was Major Henry West. That was the character.
Bad. I was like, oh yeah, you're right.
Eccleston
Okay,
actor.
Yeah, Major Henry West. Sorry. And he's the major's telling him the story about how he found one of his soldiers with like a gun in his mouth or whatever. And he tells me like, what's the point? And he was like, well, like, what am I supposed to do? How do you give somebody hope in a situation like this? And then I told him, well, one day women will come here, and you see this look in like Cillian's face, like, oh fuck, like we need to get the fuck out of here. And then you start seeing the other soldiers kind of like harass Selina's character. And yes, dude, basically everyone in this outfit was more than okay into like raping these women, essentially. Because it's definitely not consensual, obviously. Like,
right.
Maybe they would have preferred to be consensual, but, no. She clearly did not want to be a part of it. And I mean, obviously. And so they try to get out of there, and they're like, no, we can't let you leave, but we can let you go, Jim, which means we're going to go fucking kill you. There was only one soldier who protested what they wanted to do to the women, and he basically gets...
same treatment.
Yeah, he goes to the firing squad with Jim. Unfortunately, he doesn't make it, but Jim does. And
what happens, like, there's two guys out there, and they're going to shoot both of them. They're like, they have the hands... tied behind their back.
Yeah, they have the hands tied. Yep.
And so one of them accidentally shoots or something.
Yeah, I think I think
he accidentally shoots. I think he shoots him. So the other one, because the other guy was gonna knife him. He pulled out the bayonet and put it.
Oh, you're right.
So he was like, no, don't knife him. Just shoot him. Kill him. It's quicker.
So yeah, he shoots him, and I guess he shoots him really close to the other soldier because he's like, "Oh, what the fuck would you do that for? Like, I'm right here, or whatever." Blah blah
distracted.
blah. Yeah, and then that's when Jim hides amongst like the dead bodies and kind of makes his escape.
I think he was more pissed off that he didn't get to kill him rather than like he was too close to him when the other soldier shot him.
I almost saw his finger slipped and he was like, "What the fuck, dude? I'm about to kill him."
He was definitely trying to kill him.
Yeah, and yeah, man. So you're just kind of like, and again, Frank's daughter is probably like what, 13?
I think they say she's 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. So later you hear them talking about the girls or whatever, and the kind of like the main soldier that's not fucking the major, he's just like, oh, having it my way, I choose the black one, and I'm going to make her squirm. So this dude even seems like he's kind of into the rape, honestly. But you are definitely more worrying about the 12-year-old girl, and you're kind of like, okay, there's no way they're actually going to do something with her, but then they force both of them to dress up in like nice gowns or whatever. You're kind of like, oh fuck, let's please try to get them out of this situation as soon as possible.
Meanwhile,
this is dark, man.
Jim, Cillian Murphy's character, is going full fucking Rambo out in the fucking...
Bro,
he really was, man. That was crazy.
A man who was just a fucking bike messenger turns into like the Predator, bro.
Right.
Like all of a sudden.
But yeah, he's like first thing he does is he like gets the siren and he starts blaring it, and then everybody like, or at least one of the guys comes to go check on him.
Yeah,
There's two of them.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well, there's that one, and then there's a major who's there, right?
Yeah.
Was it two and the major, or one?
No, it was
was
just
the
one
major?
other guy and the major.
And the major,
They
right,
go
yeah.
to check out the siren.
Yeah, dude, fucking Jim, dude. He goes from hands tied, no shirt because he loses in the barbed wire, to slowly taking out this fucking military outfit. Like as soon as he gets a hold of one gun, and he releases the infected that they had, one infected that they kept at the compound.
Right. Yeah.
Just breaks all fucking loose, breaks out like lets hell. All
There's
loose,
like
man.
a pet infected that they have on a leash. Basically,
Yeah,
that they, like,
it was
use
definitely one of
quote
their
unquote
like
study.
yeah, it was definitely one of their like comrades, whatever. And he even says the reason why they're keeping him alive is because they want to see if they do starve to death and how long it would take. And yeah, I think they said they've only had him captured for like about a week at that point or something like that.
No, I think
don't
they
it's
literally
that long.
said it was like the day or two before he got.
Oh,
turned.
really?
Yeah, I think it was
Okay.
soon. I want to say.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't know, man. He just really planned that shit out because he just kind of fires some shots, lets the one infected go, and then that one infected just causes all this chaos, obviously. Like
I'd call it a pretty simple plan if you ask me, because he like lets the infected go, but it's like, did he really just know that like all the guys would die and then the girls would be fine? You
I don't
know?
think-
Right?
It
Yeah.
worked out.
Yeah,
My first thought was, like the girls are gonna get killed. Well, obviously, I knew they weren't going to, but I thought the girls were gonna get killed by the zombies. That would be
bro,
like
that
he
would be
just let the zombie go or the infected go to kill all the soldiers. But it's like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't you think they were gonna kill the women as well?
Yeah. That was definitely a risk for sure. And dude, that would have been honestly kind of awesome / terrible if that's what happened, where
how it ends.
he like releases the infected and it actually ends up killing Selena and Hannah. Yeah, there we go. That would have been fucking crazy. I don't think he knew that the infected was just gonna suddenly take them all out. I think it was more, maybe it'll take out one or two, and maybe it'll just serve as a really good distraction, or this one might infect one or two more, and then obviously they'll take out more of them and stuff like that. I don't think he obviously knew exactly what was gonna happen, but he definitely thought bare minimum it's gonna serve as a great distraction. Best case scenario, this is going to wipe out basically the entire compound, except for Selena and Hannah. Yeah, I mean, it was a smart move. You see him like lurking around, fucking going basically Batman and shit, just kind of.
Rambo's, I feel, is the more appropriate answer.
Yeah, Rambo when he goes crazy, but there was a lot of sneaking around, which is definitely more not Rambo at all, right? Rambo's guns blazing, where he was very like calculated, hiding in certain places, and then just striking at the right moment, which is either Batman or bare minimum Sam Fisher from the fucking Splinter Cell series. I would say.
Yeah, he picks them off one by one, dude. Just like every single one of these guys either dies or turns into a zombie.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Until I think just one person's left.
Yeah, The major's the
Major.
the major's the last one alive out of their whole situation. It was funny seeing some of the soldiers or whatever being just absolutely pussies in the situation. I'm like, damn, dude, you fucking suck. Like, I mean, your group is a bad guy or fucking bad guys, but you suck, dude. Like that. Like, I can't believe you're actually in the military. That's wild.
Yeah, one of the guys was like crying and asking Cillian to save him, and he like jumped out the window or something.
Yeah.
Because
going?
the guy that was hiding under the bed.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
coming
He's
together.
like, I don't have any bullets. And then he just gets fucking mauled by like 3 infected. Well deserved. And oh man, I was also wondering, because obviously the scene where they're basically like escaping, they're like all in the car, and then the major's in there. He blasts Jim with something, and I have no idea what the fuck that was.
Question.
I didn't get a good look. Like if it
I'd
was a
say on the
gun,
Wikipedia.
it didn't sound like a gun.
It sounded like it was a charge. or
Yeah,
something,
like
a taser.
it didn't sound like a gun.
Sometime.
You don't get a good look at it, and it just made a weird sound. And I was like, "What the fuck was
Yeah.
that?" But you can see, that there's basically like a hole in his fucking sternum. And then Hannah, who gets probably like zombie kill of the week, fucking puts the car in reverse and basically feeds the major to one of the infected soldiers.
Yeah, she backs the car up to the door to the front of the house.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And then zombies just break through the back glass.
It was
of the
one.
car.
It literally just like in one fucking punch broke that back windshield and grabbed them and just
Grabbed the major who's just sitting in the back.
Yeah.
Car.
Bro, yeah, so those things are fucking strong, fast, everything. But good on Hannah for getting through that.
It was a good kill, definitely.
Yeah, you see, so yeah, they're about to drive away. There's a fucking a metal gate that's padlocked, and they're like, just gun it, just floor it. We don't have a choice. And they fucking go, and it just kind of freeze frames, and then all of a sudden you see
two of them in the back, like flying towards.
Yeah. That's the freeze frame,
basically.
And then
and then it fades to black again, and then it comes
says
up.
28 days later.
Comes up and it says 28 days later
Right.
again for the second time.
And then that's when we find them in the cottage, right?
Yeah,
like
some
he
cottage.
just kind of wakes up. So you see that Jim is still alive, Selina's still alive, and Hannah's still alive.
And he like connected to like an IV or something when he wakes up. I don't know.
Something, yeah. I just remember him resting. He seems like obviously okay when he like wakes up. So I'm sure that's not the first time he's woken up, obviously, but that's what we see. And then we see like a jet fly by. They have like a whole big old hello sign, just trying to get its attention. And apparently the fucking pilot of this jet is an asshole because he said like, "Oh, do you think he's noticed us this time?" And I'm like, "You mean he didn't notice your giant hello sign the first time or whatever?" Like, that's crazy, but
maybe all the people with good vision died.
bro, that's like the one thing about being a fucking fighter pilot too, is like you need good vision, obviously. And it just kind of ends there,
Yeah, they're like kind of like a happy little family.
Like the three,
the
the three of them are alive. It seems like they did get the jet's attention, but that's kind of about it. You don't see the jet rescue them or anything like that.
But it probably does.
Yeah,
I'm sure the sequel.
Yeah, I guess it'll explain in the third
one,
the third installment, because in the second one apparently it has none of the original characters from the first. Doesn't even have the director or the writer from the first. So I don't know. Maybe they'll answer it in 28 years later, not 28 months, 28 years, because it's been like 23 years or whatever since the fucking second one came out.
Yeah, you already waited this long. Just release the movie 28 years later. 28 years later.
Yeah, it's gonna mess with my OCD a little bit, honestly.
Should have waited to 2030.
This is when I'm glad I don't have autism. They'd be like, "Oh, you were right there. You were right there. You couldn't make 28 months later. Might as well just wait till 28 years later. Give it 28 fortnights later, or whatever."
No, 28 months would have been the logical next step.
Yeah, no, I would have.
But what one thing I also was curious about was, so Jim was pretty much when the movie starts, Jim wakes up from the coma.
Right.
And that's when he discovers everything's to shit.
Yep.
And so you don't know how long he was in the coma for. Because obviously
That's
it would have
true.
been at least 28 days.
Yeah.
You know?
Or at max 28 days, right?
Because he's hooked up to
No.
like an IV, so he probably was
Yeah,
able to.
max.
At minimum 28 days. Because that's when the whole world started shutting down. So
Yeah.
that would be a
minimum
minimum.
28
Because he
days.
could have.
Oh, right, because he doesn't.
The
Yeah,
accident
yeah, my bad.
that sent him into the into the coma,
Yeah, that
into the
happened
hospital
before.
That could
Yeah,
have been
you're
6
right.
months before.
Yeah,
you know?
you're right. Yeah.
He didn't have like any atrophy coming out of this.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he was weak and stuff, but
True.
Yeah.
maybe
You're right.
like
you're
a
right.
couple hours after getting out of this hospital, he's being chased down by zombies and he's full sprinting.
Yeah.
He's not the fastest and he's not, but like, come on, like,
Yeah. So maybe he wasn't hooked up for that long, I guess. Yeah, we really don't know. You're right. At minimum 28 days, but we really don't know how long he was actually recovering in that hospital. Yeah, he definitely should have had some atrophy though.
It would have been way more fucked up waking up. That's very true. You're asleep for a minimum 28 days.
yeah.
Like, you're
Yeah.
not even gonna be able to move.
Yeah, for sure.
You'd be pissing for like 2 minutes.
After
How was he pissing?
Yeah,
Oh,
after
was that
some type
awesome?
of major injury too. He was hit by like a car or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. He was a bike messenger who got hit by a car. Yeah, and he hit. Yeah, you see his head bounce off that the hood of that car. So it wasn't not nothing. You know, he took a pretty nasty hit.
And also, like the whole 28 days timeline, it's like it takes 28 days. Like at 28 days after the first infected happens, the movie starts, and like the buildings are like all dilapidated, and like everything's like run down, and everything's just like fucked up looking. Kind of. It's like, how did this happen in just 28 days? Like the walls are all like fucked up looking. Like everything is just run down.
All right.
And also like the guys in the military are like ready to like rape a person.
Bro, okay.
Like after 28 days.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, thank you for reminding me about that, because I was fucking thinking about that when we find out that these guys are a bunch of fucking rapists, and they're like, bro, okay, at minimum, you haven't got laid in 28 days, right? And you're ready to rape someone, dude. You can't go a full month without sex, dude. Like, holy shit. I'm just saying, especially that leader, not the major, like the guy right under him. That dude has only raped somebody before, because he was way too ready to fucking go, man. Yeah, dude, I kept thinking about that. I was like, bro, it's been not even a month, and you're like, when am I gonna get it? That's like trying to eat your fucking like it's like trying to eat your friend like 2 days into the apocalypse.
Right.
Like, yeah, bro, like you might be hungry, but you shouldn't be that fucking hungry.
Basically, the guy was like, I haven't had pussy in 10 days. I want to kill myself.
Yeah, essentially.
Like, I'm gonna get you a bitch. I promise.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me about that, because I couldn't get over that idea. I was like, bro, not even a full month, dude. Like,
right.
Even February has 29 days. Like, couldn't even last a February.
Then also, everyone's like kind of like a professional. Like all of the survivors like seem like they've been doing it for like they're veterans of zombie survival, kind of.
Right.
But it's really just been 28 days.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, just.
It
seems like the timeline was really longer than 28 days.
I don't know. I feel like it just seems catchier, the title, than 238 days later.
Yeah. 28 days. It does sound cool. I don't know why he decided on 28 days, but I do like that number. It does work. It works well. It works well with the
4
title.
weeks.
I will say, Bailey used his favorite word, dilapidated. So everyone take a shot. And also, I don't know, man. Like, I can see what you're saying, but I didn't really think the buildings were that run down. I think you're just seeing the dirty parts of London, honestly. Because, I mean, yeah, there's like trash everywhere. There's things like there's cars and buses like on the side of like on its side and stuff.
Like the walls had like dirt.
Yeah, like it looked kind of dirty, but it didn't look. It honestly, to me, it didn't look that deep into the apocalypse. And I think the part that made that very clear was when they go to the grocery store. Yeah, and everything's like intact. Like obviously, a lot of the fruit and vegetable went rotten, except for the apples or whatever.
Right.
But everything was perfectly fine. Like it just looked like an empty grocery store. So I think that was like a way that they showed that. Yeah, like there wasn't just grass sprouting everywhere like you see in every other apocalypse, or you see like grass and trees starting to grow like in the middle of the cities and streets and stuff. So I think they showed well that like this just happened. Like we're not even a full month into the end of the world, essentially. So I thought they did a good job with that. Like I would believe like, oh, this is the beginning. Like if I just woke up, I was like, oh, doesn't seem like I've been gone out for that long. But I was definitely thinking like, damn, okay, so like let's say you're Jim's character, right? And you wake up from the hospital, and for some reason you can use your legs automatically.
My dick's just hanging out.
Once you leave that room and you realize that the hospital's empty, like what do you think would be going on through your mind? Like besides like where the fuck is everyone? Like cause what real world scenarios would you think would cause for an entire fucking hospital to be evacuated?
Obviously, I would just think it's a dream at first, because that's
right. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Yeah.
Bizarre occurrence.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'd probably just sit somewhere and just be like, what? Try to process everything.
Yeah. I love that he starts collecting money off the ground because he still hasn't really accepted the fact that it's fucking.
He also started collecting Pepsis.
Oh, that's
a lot
true.
of Pepsis in this movie.
Well,
this movie was definitely sponsored by Pepsi.
Yeah. I wonder if Pepsi is bigger than Coca-Cola in England. And that's why, or it's not, and they're like, yeah, we need Pepsi to be the official sponsor of the apocalypse. like when all hope is lost, look for a Pepsi,
right?
Kind of situation.
I had Pepsi.
Yeah, and for those who have seen World War Z, it makes it even a little bit funnier because at the very end of the movie, he stumbles upon a fucking Pepsi machine, and you just see a bunch of Pepsis roll out, and it's so clear, and you're just like, this is the greatest product placement I've ever seen, dude. It's the longest Pepsi commercial ever made.
Kind of ballsy for a food company to
sponsor the apocalypse.
On an apocalyptic thing like The Walking Dead. I think KFC used to sponsor them. So like right after you see like a zombie eating like a person, it'd be like a KFC commercial.
Like a
bucket of KFC. So
I thought you were gonna say you see
very-
like buckets of KFC like just all over the ground or something like that.
They just play the commercial right after. Like KFC
I gotcha.
like
Okay.
loved to do advertisements during Walking Dead. And I think it was like almost kind of a joke to them or something.
I just thought it was, the product placement of Pepsi was just so fucking good, honestly. I remember at one point he offers one of their soda, like, do you want a, but they're like British sodas, so I don't know the names. It's like, you want a Pepsi or a Milla, something I don't fucking remember. And he's like, do you have a, I don't even fucking know what he says. And like, I actually do, or whatever. I don't remember what the fuck it was. I just love that it seems like Pepsi sponsored this movie, obviously. Also, speaking of The Walking Dead, I don't think you've seen it, right, RJ? Bentley, have you seen any of The Walking Dead?
First couple seasons.
Yeah, okay.
I stopped watching it after maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah,
seasons.
I gave up on season 3, and then when I came back, I gave up on season 4, and then just stopped watching it altogether. But now watching 28 Days Later, there's like similarities around just like, did they take this from fucking 28 Days Later? Like, did The Walking Dead just like rip some of this from 28 Days Later? Because
like the TV version.
badass black girl with a machete.
Yeah.
Michonne, which she is in the comics, if I remember correctly.
But
She
when
is
did
in
the
the
comics
comics.
get written? Before 28 Days Later?
That's a good question. Because I know it was kind of a sleeper for a while, but I think it came out early 2000s to maybe mid 2000s. Because first season of Walking Dead was what, like 2008, 2009?
That was right.
Yeah, right. It sounds
maybe,
about
yeah.
like that kind of area.
Yeah, no, watching this, like,
I
it
would
made
say
me,
I would type in comic.
I know.
or whatever.
Walking
The
Dead
show
is-
started in 2010.
Oh, 2010.
Walking
Okay.
Dead is definitely like the TV version of this movie. Like if you had to stretch out characters living together, moving from like area to area,
Oh, sure.
instead of a movie into a TV show, like it's just, yeah. Walking Dead is just this stretched out.
October 2003 is a publication date of The Walking Dead comics.
And then the 28 Days Later came out like a year after that.
Before
2002. Yeah, which means that movie was at least written for a few years or a couple of years. But badass black girl with the machete, that's obviously supposed to be Michonne. And even the opening scene of or not the opening scene, but one of the first scenes in The Walking Dead is Andrew Lincoln's character, Rick Grimes.
Yes.
It's him waking up in a hospital. It's him
Walking around being like, what's going on?
Yeah, and it's obviously deserted except for you hear a lot of mumblings and groanings, and he finds the fucking door that says "Don't open," dead inside, and then
Very
gets out,
similar.
finds somebody. Yeah, and I feel like there was another thing that made me think, okay, this kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead. Well, there was things about it that actually The Last of Us reminded me of. The father-daughter dynamic.
Yeah, I feel like that's a trope in these types of movies.
Yeah, but I don't know how long before, right now, post-apocalypse wise, I can't think of something before 28 Days Later that did the whole father-daughter dynamic. I'm sure like just movies in general, obviously, kind of like Leon the Professional, right? Like that's very much, they're not actual father and daughter, but that's kind of the dynamic of their relationship. But post-apocalypse wise, I can't think of anything before 28 Days Later that did this. And then, The Last of Us did this. The Walking Dead video game series, a Telltale's one, where it's all like decision making, also did that with Lee and Clementine. And then also, actually, Jim freeing the infected to kind of cause chaos. There's one level in The Last of Us Part 2 where people were actually keeping infected as almost like guard dogs, essentially, and you can free them just to like cause chaos throughout the compound. So it just kind of reminded me of that. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I don't know if he just ripped it from that or it's like parallel thinking or
We'll
whatever.
have to watch some Romero movies to see. Maybe one of
I'd
those
be down
kind does
for
something similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, this made me want to watch like Night of the Living Dead, like those original.
Which we have been talking
movies.
about. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, I only watched Night of the Living Dead once, but it's definitely due for a rewatch. I probably watched it like 10 years ago at this point.
I think that one is like just one setting. They're all stuck like in a barn, basically.
Yeah, or is it a church? Wasn't there
Church,
like a
barn,
church?
I
Because I
don't
remember
know.
they start in the cemetery, and then cemeteries are usually around churches or whatever.
Then Dawn of the Dead's just a mall, but like in this movie, they go.
Which I
all
also
fucking
want
around.
to see because that's like what people consider like Zack Snyder's best movie essentially.
it.
Oh, do you?
Or no, the Dawn of the Dead, the Romero one.
Oh,
yeah,
my
I'd rather
bad.
watch the OGs first.
Yeah,
but-
okay. I actually heard really good things about. Oh, I've seen clips of the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead. It actually looked really good.
Yeah, apparently Alex Garland was really influenced by George Romero's Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead.
Okay,
And it says here
up.
he loved those
Fun.
movies as a child, but said that he had largely forgotten about the zombie genre until he had played Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Oh,
apparently-
hey, let's go.
Apparently, Resident Evil helped revive the zombie genre for Alex Garland and then led him to write this movie.
Yeah. So what you're saying is Alex Garland should have directed the Resident Evil movies. 'Cause
I don't know, man. That Paul S. Anderson, something like that.
Oh, the one who.
It's not Paul Thomas Anderson.
It's not
the
Paul.
other Paul.
Okay, yeah,
Paul
the
Anderson.
The other Paul
He
Anderson.
did direct a Resident Evil movie. It's called 28 Days Later, dude. There's just no Raccoon City or whatever the hell.
All right. Oh, okay. So always a good question when it comes to these types of zombie apocalypse, whatever, or infected pandemic and the world scenarios. Does this seem where do you rank this in worst infected scenarios? Like, do you think this is like worst case scenario, or do you think like, nah, you know what, Resident Evil seems way worse, World War Z seems way worse, or you know what I mean? Like, does this world seem the scariest to you?
They all seem horrible.
Right. I mean, they're all bad.
I don't know if you could pick one. Like,
I think
that's
some are
than
worse
the
than
others.
others. Yeah.
They all seem pretty bad to me. Like they're like, especially these ones where they're all running at you. The zombies are infected, whatever, are running at you full sprint. Like that's pretty terrifying, you know. And I feel like most of them do that.
So
Shaun of the Dead, man, that's like the least scary, but it's pretty scary.
I just think because obviously things like this, I compare them to each other, and I mean honestly, man, this one besides like the original Night of the Living Dead, where it's just really like slow stumbling, like or whatever. This seems relatively manageable, to be honest. I mean, they ran into a decent amount of infected throughout like their few days or whatever, but
Zombies can parkour in this one. I don't know. That's
but
kinda
it's
tricky.
like the big thing
Deal
is
with.
like accidentally like ingesting their blood or on it. Like it seems like the worst part, but because every time they got like attacked, it's only like until the tunnel scene. Obviously, it was only like one or two at a time, and I'm like, okay, that's
Yeah, but we saw the scene where they coordinated an attack together.
I mean, yeah, I still
jump-
don't think they like really coordinated it, but that's just how it came.
I don't
off.
know, man. These
They kind of just
zombies.
randomly just
yeah.
jump through the window. I feel like in that scene.
But man, I don't
Nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because like I think about like the Resident Evil world, and I was like, okay, yeah, that definitely seems way worse than this. I think about Left 4 Dead, that seems way worse than this. Obviously, The Last of Us is probably one of the worst. I think, in my opinion, one of the worst scenarios to find yourself in. This one, I'm like, I don't know. Like it seems relatively manageable in comparison. In general, maybe I don't know, but that's just kind of my opinion. When I start thinking about like all the zombie / like infected pandemic movies and video games I played, I don't know. This one seems relatively manageable compared to the other ones.
I think the one I'd want to be in the most would be the Zombieland one because it's thinking of Woody Harrelson
Yeah.
all the time. So.
Oh man, yeah, dude. I
the preferable one.
I forgot about Zombieland for a second. Yeah.
Because even though the zombies like run in that, they're pretty bad.
Yeah,
they, like
they're
jump or
pretty
whatever.
dumb or whatever. Like, they're not great by any means. But
The worst.
World War Z is fucking. You played the video game.
That's probably the worst one,
That's
right?
one of the worst case scenarios for sure.
The
There's, like,
worst case
trillions.
scenario is just being in England where there's no guns.
Yeah, dude, that too, man.
Honestly, that's like the worst case scenario
Yeah.
for a zombie apocalypse.
Also in England now, because you can't have a knife. Like you can't have just
Been
like a
that
normal
knife,
knife in
bro.
England, dude. Again, sucks to suck, fucking losers.
Well, I think you have to have a permit, right, or something. For certain
You have to
knives,
register a knife. Like
Yeah.
you have to register kitchen knives.
Right.
And now what they're trying to do is sell knives that don't have a pointed edge. It literally like curves soft. Like think of like the top of a fucking butter knife, and then the front part is just like serrated or whatever, or like whatever sharp. So you can,
Right.
Yeah.
That was
Again,
a zombie pretty good.
Yeah, it sucks to suck, fucking
Yeah.
losers.
If you live in England, like good luck. It's
Yeah.
a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. Also,
acid.
if you've seen V for
There.
Vendetta, good luck England, because that's probably your fucking future in a few years. I'm kidding / not kidding, but also like the whole thing about, because we always see like in zombie games and like zombie movies, like you know you run out of bullets, so you're definitely gonna need some kind of melee weapon, right? If it's a fucking machete, a samurai sword, if you fucking find one somehow. Or use, you know, blunt weapons like bats and stuff. But in this world where you can accidentally ingest fucking blood, a bludgeoning weapon is probably like your worst case scenario, because that's when fucking shit cracks off and fucking splurts and shit. So
Yeah. There was a scene where they blew up a zombie that stepped on a landmine, and then
Yeah.
the fucking like
yeah,
zombie
it
juice got
rained.
close to
Yeah,
them.
it
I'm
like
damn,
rained a little bit, like pretty close to them, or at least on a few of them. So yeah, and then it just sucks. Like bludgeoning weapons isn't even the best thing you can use in this specific situation, anyways.
And also, I want to say, if I was in this apocalypse setting, like one of the first things I do is go into like a really rich person's like mansion and start taking their really fancy like British clothes. And I'd be like walking around like I got all the epic gear in a game or whatever. Like, I have a cape and I have like a cane and everything. But everyone in this movie
Kane would be badass.
kind of like wearing like jeans, like
yeah, they're just wearing their clothes
Yeah.
that they fucking
I
have
definitely
probably
would-
when they
splurge a
unless you're
little bit.
killing unless
Yeah,
you're killing the Murphy
Rolex.
character with your fucking full pickle out.
Yeah, see, that would have got you killed though, because it's all about functionality. All right, you want to be able to run from these guys.
Yeah,
when
there's you
you're-
watch Zombieland. There's so many rules about that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff, you know.
yeah, the cape would definitely probably
Yeah.
get me caught. Just grab onto it.
I wonder, like, what kind of scenario would it be okay to wear, like, a full knight's armor? Like, you just need to get across the street and you're kind of scared. So you're like, obviously, you're not going to run in that, but they're also probably not going to get through that. Unless you obviously pull your helmet off.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only thing. But, you know.
and then you're just slowed down by all the heavy armor.
Yeah, and that's what I say. You're definitely not going for a great distance. This is just like if you got to get, like, across the street or something.
Yeah, they'll protect you from the zombie. How are
Yeah.
you gonna get past that?
Yeah, especially again in this, like you fight like a couple at a
Chainmail.
time, and randomly maybe there'll be like a wave of it. But yeah, man. Film or movie? What is?
A
We all
movie.
know
It's
this.
a
movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, it's a movie.
It definitely feels like it tries to be a film for a zombie movie, though. Because again, like with these types of movies that aren't over the top, like zombie movie or over the top action zombie movies, it's definitely about the human story and the human elements. And then it has to show you that the worst people or the worst thing you can run into in this type of world is the wrong
Men.
people.
Or
All
men.
right, I forgot. I forgot that Bentley's a feminist. Sorry, guys. Yeah, the men are the worst.
Plenty of people will get that from watching this.
Bentley
movie.
chooses the bear. Yeah, it just has to show you that the worst people to run into are the worst case scenario is just running into other people.
Hey, from a woman's perspective, though, if you are in a fucking apocalypse, like that is a totally different like situation. Than, I guess a guy, because then it's like you really
Yeah.
got to pick the right people. I feel like.
Yeah, it is unfortunate because like,
more.
what do you think? Like, do you just take your chance on your own, or do you go towards the military base and hope that they don't, you know, assault you and attack you and stuff, and hope that they're just decent lads and mates and whatnot?
We're at like 120 right now.
Okay, for sure. All right. Any final thoughts? Anything like? Was there anything you guys didn't like about this movie besides obviously Frank's untimely demise?
Okay, so some of the editing I thought was too fast in some parts.
Yes.
Where I couldn't.
Good
I
call.
was like, wait, what's happening? Did he get hurt? Did he not get hurt? It's like the scene where he's wearing like the SWAT gear or whatever, and like the zombies like trying to attack him. And,
Yeah.
like, it was moving back and forth so much on the camera. I was like,
Yeah.
Couldn't
Dude,
really follow
yeah,
it.
great call, honestly, because I did think about that too. And I think also,
few parts.
yeah, that scene specifically, and then also the scene where like the first onslaught is coming to the compound or whatever. I think there was like just a few moments where it was just a little too back and forth, and I was like, bro, I'm getting fucking dizzy right now. Like, can't you just show me them just mowing down zombies instead of this whole like camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. Yeah, it
Very
was
intense.
Those are a few of the editing choices that I didn't care for, honestly, especially the one you said where he's holding him off with the riot gear or whatever. Right. Yeah, I was kind of like, bro, like just give me one shot, maybe to like stop bouncing back and forth
Cameras
between
like
cameras.
shaking.
Yeah,
yeah.
He's just like on the switchboard or whatever, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I didn't care for that editing choice, to be honest. Yeah,
that part's pretty small.
Yeah, but yeah, rather small complaint for the overall thing. Overall, dude, impressive movie for a fucking movie with an $8 million budget.
Yeah, that was like 20 years ago, though. That's like 50 million now.
But for like a zombie apocalypse movie, that's like fucking unheard of, man. That's just like not a thing. And then so much of the movie, I felt like not shot on a handheld, but it doesn't seem like it's shot on a very impressive camera at all. Like it seems like it's a relatively affordable camera that they were shooting it on. But it kind of gives it
in England.
It just gives it that more like realistic feel to it, which I really appreciated. The cinematography, whatever, just the overall feel of the movie just felt fucking great and kind of just gritty.
You guys say that there's a better zombie movie that exists that you would recommend over this one?
I'm trying to think of all the ones I've seen, honestly.
I mean, I love Zombieland. That's probably my favorite one.
Zombieland is great.
Yeah. I haven't seen
Shaun of the Dead,
but I haven't seen a whole lot.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is fantastic, but it's hard. Like, I know it's all about zombies, but it's not your traditional zombie movie at all. You know,
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
That's totally valid, bro.
I feel like this movie, though, 28 Days Later, it kind of revived the post-apocalyptic. Not post-apocalyptic exactly, but like the I don't want to say zombies because they're not zombies, but the infected. You know, it kind of that along with like Resident Evil kind of helped revitalize it because there wasn't much going on in like the 90s when it comes to that.
Yeah,
not to my knowledge.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe that World War Z.
Sorry, can you look up when the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead reboot came out? I want to say it's like 2004, like 2003, 2004. Because I don't think it was before this.
That was Dawn of the Dead or Night?
Yeah, Dawn. I want to say it's Dawn of the Dead.
But yeah, it feels like this
Zack
movie
Snyder one.
set a big
2004, so that was after this.
Yeah, so it is. Yeah,
this movie definitely set a big standard for zombie movies. Like you get your flashes of Last of Us in there. You get your flashes of fucking Walking Dead. Like every modern zombie movie.
Yeah,
even some World War Z because they're like some parkouring guys.
Oh
you know?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I feel like all the modern ones you can link back to this one.
Yeah.
So it's worth watching it for that.
The way that Garland says he grew up like he drew inspiration from Romero and the Resident Evil series. I think it's safe to say that a lot of zombie / kind of like infected situations after 28 Days Later definitely looked at this movie as kind of like the way that he looked at Romero and Resident Evil and stuff.
Probably, yeah.
And hopefully someone else will break the mold eventually and do something new with it.
Oh yeah, like the next
for that.
the next 28 Days Later. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say like Last of Us did anything like that, but I'm just a sucker for that series.
Well, brought it into the video game world, so well, I guess Resident Evil did too, but it's different.
Yeah, and again, and not unfortunate, but we do keep like the world has just decided that zombie also means infected because zombie originally just meant like living dead, so something that was already dead comes to life, and then you can also infect from there. But now. Like there's no more zombies. It's always infected. It's always infected. It's never dead to alive. It's always just like, spreading a virus, spreading a disease or whatever. No, it's just I don't know. That's the not the etymology, but that's just kind of like
I think it's a
how
voodoo
words
thing.
work.
Zombie. I think it's like a Jamaican voodoo thing. If I remember.
It is a voodoo thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They should do something with that, like a voodoo zombie.
Yeah, bring back like an actual
thing.
fucking
That'd be
zombie.
cool.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing that only the first Resident Evil, maybe the first two. It's actually about zombies, like a dead person that came to life, and then after that, they just completely went with the whole whatever bio disease, bio weapon kind of situation. So bring back zombies 2024. Whatever.
Yeah, but just don't rip off.
Make zombies dead again, kind of.
Make zombies great again.
Yeah, make zombies great again. Yeah. So
This is probably the best serious zombie movie.
Yeah,
I would recommend
definitely one
Shaun
of
of
the
the
best.
Dead or Zombieland
Yeah.
over them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, okay. Best zombie movie: The Dead Don't Die.
Oh god, I'm about to punch RJ for that one,
Or
dude.
Dale and Tucker versus.
Oh no, that's not a zombie movie.
No.
That is a fantastic horror
That's not a zombie
comedy.
movie.
Not a zombie movie?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
They-
It is
they
a
just
hilarious.
assume that
It is a hilarious movie though, but it is not a zombie
They
movie.
think it's zombies or something.
No, they think
They're
Tucker
murderers.
and
It's
Dale.
suicidal
Serial
teens.
killers.
They actually think it's suicidal teens.
The teens think Tucker and Dale are like backwoods,
Murderous rednecks.
yeah, think
Yeah.
like what's the Deliverance,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
No, that is a great movie.
I remember there being zombies in that one for some reason.
no.
No.
They thought there were zombies.
No. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's great zombie / infected movies. This is definitely up there, especially when it comes to this specific type where it's not World War Z where you just see fucking hordes of zombies just rushing all the time, or you can't just walk down the street without being fucking attacked by one. It's crazy, man. Especially like I feel like a lot of zombie movies. Never mind. I guess I don't want to say we don't see the beginning because it usually kind of jumps into later when everything's already gone to shit. But this is relatively early in the apocalypse. Final thoughts. I would say I just fucking love this movie, man. It was great. I'm glad. I'm not saying I'm glad I waited, but I'm 20 years late to this fucking movie. Absolutely loved it. Wished I saw it sooner. Cillian, great. Pickle, great. He just fucking murdered it. I feel weird rating it. It's pretty high. Again, I want to say like close to a 9 now, but in reality, I'd probably give it like maybe like an 8 or as close to an 8 as possible. But yeah, man, I loved it. I mean, I'm actually really excited to watch 28 Weeks Later now, and then eventually, or hopefully eventually, 28 years later. Yeah, I would definitely recommend this to anyone who enjoys a good post-apocalypse movie, especially when it's just like about a small group of people just trying to, find hope, essentially. Loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I would give it like a 7.5 or something.
Okay.
There wasn't much wrong with it other than the Frank death scene
Doing Frank so dirty.
and the fact that he didn't have atrophy after however long. But
Yeah, there's finding a baseball bat. There's
Right, there's a couple things I could pick at,
there's
but-
a few inconsistencies that just don't make any sense.
Yeah, but overall, it was a fine infected zombie movie. I don't know, maybe I'm just not totally a fan of these types of movies,
Oh, sure.
but it's definitely on the better side,
It is a very good movie. Cillian Murphy fucking kills it. It's a very good performance for young Cillian Murphy.
great bit. Yep.
So, and if you want to see his Willy, you can see this or Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So,
And those movies are like 20 years apart, so you can see like his dick 20 years apart.
Yeah, dude.
This is like a younger Cillian Murphy who's going full pickle, so good for him
Full
for
pickle.
being like. In Oppenheimer, he's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm down to show my dick again. It's like, damn, bro,
Did it once?
it's been 20 years, but all right, cool.
I thought the girl Hannah was a little bad sometimes, her acting, but she was a kid actor, so
Yeah,
that's
she's supposed to be like
how
12
it goes.
or whatever.
Yeah, I think I saw that she only had one acting credit before this movie.
None after, probably.
Okay.
I have no idea after. I didn't look at it.
Yeah, it was very good. Every character is great. Like, it hits every note. Like, if you've seen a zombie movie from like recently, it hits like a lot of those notes.
Yeah.
So, great.
Yeah, and again, like you said, like I think if you are familiar with the genre and you haven't seen this movie, you're gonna watch this movie and you're gonna see the influences in later zombie / infected like movies, video games, TV shows, post 28 Days Later, and that's cool. Like I love seeing where people draw inspiration from. But yeah, all right, guys, this has been 3 Hacks in a Movie.
I'm Bentley.
I'm Emilio.
And RJ.
All right, have a good night, y'all.